Okay, this is Chapter 5, Final Unit Test. First question, vocabulary set. Across the top, we read, incoming money, formal expression of opinion, rag figures, British Prime Minister who decided to act against smuggling, to refuse to buy. Across to the left side, reading down, George Grenville, effigies, revenue, boycott, resolution. Next question, vocabulary set. Across the top, we read, participant in Boston Tea Party, ruler of Britain, circulated colonists' grievances, closed Boston Harbor, information made to influence public opinion. Across the left-hand side, reading down, propaganda, committee of correspondence, coercive acts, Samuel Adams, George III. Next question, vocabulary set, reading across the top, citizen soldiers, storage place for arms, the man who rode with Paul Revere, warned that the British were coming, sold military information to the British. Along the left-hand side, reading down, Paul Revere, militias, Benedict Arnold, Concord, William Dawes. Next question, vocabulary set. Across the top, we read, President of the Congress, governed the colonies, wrote common sense, argued against going to war with Britain, wrote the Declaration of Independence. Along the left-hand side, reading down, Thomas Paine, Charles Inglis, Second Continental Congress, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock. Next question. Delegates returning to the Second Continental Congress from the First Continental Congress included John and Samuel Adams, Patrick Henry, Richard Henry Lee, and George Washington or Thomas Jefferson. Next question. New delegates included Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Hancock, who became blank of the Congress. Moreover, John Hancock, did he become president or vice president of the Congress? Next question. The Congress created the blank to fight against Britain and chose George Washington as its leader. The Congress created the Continental Army Congress created the Continental Militia or the Continental Army. Again, those options are Continental Militia or Continental Army. Next question. Blank published Common Sense, which called for complete independence from Britain. Thomas Paine published Common Sense, or Sir Thomas More published Common Sense. The Declaration of Independence was written by Thomas Jefferson or John Hancock. What philosopher did Jefferson use as his main inspiration? Choices, John Locke or Aristotle. Next question. Who is the president of the Second Continental Congress? Choices, John Hancock or George Washington. Next question. What are some of the ideas that John Locke presents in his philosophy? First, people are born with natural rights, namely life, liberty, and property. They can form governments to protect these rights. A government interfering with natural rights should be overthrown. Or lastly, all of the above. Next question. How many delegates signed the Declaration of Independence? Choices, 54 or 56. In April 1775, Sir Thomas Gage ordered 700 British troops to march to Boston. True or false? Next question. Paul Revere rode to Lexington to warn that the British were coming. True or false? Next question. The colonists won the Battle of Bunker Hill. True or false? Next question. What instructions did Thomas Gage have regarding the colonists? Choices. Take away weapons of the militia, arrest leaders of the rebellion, or all of the above. Next question. What were the suffix resolves? A set of resolutions? Called people of the country to arm themselves? Called people of the country to form militias? Or all of the above? Next question. Where did the victory of the Green Mountain Boys take place? Choices. Bunker Hill or Fort Ticonderoga? Next question. What did the British learn at the Battle of Bunker Hill? Choices. That the colonists had weak leaders, or the Americans would not be easily defeated. Next question. Why did Bostonians feel the British pushed them too far? Choices. They passed laws that violated colonial rights. They sent an army to occupy colonial cities. British soldiers competed for jobs that Bostonians wanted, or all of the above. Next question. What did colonial leaders hope to achieve by using the Boston Massacre killings as propaganda? Choices. To influence public opinion to oppose British rule. To influence Native American tribes to oppose British rule. To influence France to declare war on Great Britain. None of the above. Next question. How was the Tea Act unfair to colonial merchants? Choices. British East India Company could avoid most taxes on their tea. British East India Company could see their tea at, could sell their tea at cheaper prices. Next choice, it was difficult for local merchants because they had to sell their tea at higher prices because of imposed taxes. Or lastly, all the above. Next question. What were the coercive acts? Choices. Laws meant to punish Massachusetts for resisting British law, or acts that increased taxes on goods shipped from the colonies to England. Next question. How did Parliament react to the Boston Massacre? Choices. It repealed all of the Townshend Acts except the one on tea, or it repealed all of the Townshend Acts except the one on sugar. Next question. Which organization did Samuel Adams revive after the Boston Massacre? Choices. The Committee of Correspondence or the Sons of Liberty. Next question. What were some events or issues that encouraged the Boston Massacre? Choices. Taxes imposed on colonists, armies sent in to occupy cities, British soldiers competing for jobs that colonists wanted, or all of the above. Next question. What was the result of closing Boston Harbor under the Coercive Acts? Choices. Blocked off arrival of food, blocked off arrival of supplies, blocked off arrival of goods that were necessary to colonial life, or all of the above. Next question. Why did the colonists consider the Coercive Acts intolerable? Choices. They actually did not mind the Coercive Acts because they actually protected them, or they felt their rights as English citizens were being violated. Next question. The French and Indian War left Britain with a huge, choices, surplus or debt. Next question. It also passed the blank to raise the tax on molasses and decreased smuggling. These laws angered the colonists. So what were these? Choices, the Sugar Act or the Stamp Act? Parliament, next question. Parliament passed the blank in 1765, which placed a tax on printed material. Choices, Printing Act or Stamp Act? Next question. Colonists opposed the tax because Parliament taxed them without their choices, repeal or consent. Next question. However, in 1767, Parliament passed the blank, which placed taxes on goods imported to the colonies. Choices: Charleston Acts or Townshend Acts. Next question. Writs of assistance are legal documents that, choices, allowed customs officers to enter any location to search for smuggled goods, or helped control immigration into the British colonies. Next question. What was the purpose of the Stamp Act Congress? Choices: to pass additional laws that would increase taxes on the colonists, to draft a petition to the king declaring that the colonies could not be taxed except by their own assemblies. Next question. What did the Proclamation of 1763 accomplish? Choices: prevented colonists from moving back to England, or prevented colonists from moving west of the Appalachian Mountains. Next question. What did Parliament do after it repealed the Stamp Act? Choices: it created the Declaratory Act, which stated that England had the right to tax and make decisions for the colonies, or it passed an additional act declaring that England would no longer tax the colonies. Next and final question. How did the colonists react to the taxes being imposed by Britain? Choices: they formed groups such as the Daughters of Liberty, urged Americans to wear homemade fabrics, produce their own goods rather than buy from the British, or all of the above. That concludes Chapter 5, Final Unit Test.